17 years ago, I thought I had it all: love, purpose, a family I would give anything for. I was 29 then, newly married to Leah, a woman I believe was a great twist of fate I never saw coming. We met in a modest publishing office in Chicago, me in marketing, her in HR. She had a spark that lit up every room. Witty, magnetic, driven. Being around her felt like life had finally begun. We married in less than a year. The honeymoon phase was a blur of laughter, dreams, and whispered promises. And when she told me she was pregnant, I remember twirling her around the living room, laughing with tears in my eyes. I swore I'd be the best father possible. We named our daughter Kayla. She was my heart. From the first time I held her, I was changed. I woke early for bottle feedings. I memorized bedtime stories. I filmed every first step, every recital, every science fair. I kissed every scraped knee and stayed up through every flu. I was there, always there. Her smile was my reward. Her laughter, my peace. I didn't know that somewhere buried beneath the joy, a truth sat coiled like a snake. Leah had an affair. Brief, she later claimed, with a coworker from finance named Darren. It happened in that first year, while we were building cribs and dreaming names. She never told me. No confession. No remorse. She just carried on, and so did I, blind, loyal, devoted. Over the years, marriage got harder. We fought like most couples, about money, time, expectations. We separated briefly when Kayla was 10 but got back together because I couldn't bear the idea of a fractured home. I thought I was fighting for our family. Maybe I was just patching over lies. Then came Kayla's 17th birthday, a day I'd planned for with pride. She'd been accepted into Northwestern, my alma mater. I'd saved for her for years, working overtime, skipping getaways, saying no to myself so I could say yes to her dreams. I had a heartfelt speech ready. I was going to tell her how proud I was, but I never got the chance. She stood surrounded by her friends, smiling, laughing. I approached with her birthday card in hand, just as she said it, loud enough to carry, mocking, deliberate. He's not even my real dad anyway. The laughter stopped. I stopped. Her eyes met mine, cold, sharp. You're not my biological father. Darren is. Mom told me everything. It felt like the floor vanished beneath me. My knees buckled. I stared at her, blinking, unable to understand. The card was still in my hand, like some cruel joke. The room fell into a stunned silence. Friends awkwardly looked away. I turned to Leah. She looked ashen, like all her secrets had caught up in an instant, but she said nothing. I left the party in a daze, got in my car, and just drove. Hours passed, but time meant nothing. I was hollow, numb. 17 years of love, care, sacrifices, swept away in a single moment. And worse, Leah had known. She had known for at least a year, if not longer. She confessed to Kayla, but not to me. Once again, she'd stolen the choice from me. The truth, the dignity. That night, I sat in the dark replaying every memory. The father-daughter dances, the bedtime talks, the homework help, the sacrifices. Had it all meant nothing? In her eyes, I was just a man who paid the bills. Her stepping stone to a future built on deception. Leah came to me the next day, saying the affair meant nothing. That Darren was a mistake. She swore she didn't know who the father was back then. But I didn't want her apologies. I wanted the truth, and she'd never given it freely. When I asked when she told Kayla, she hesitated. Last year, she said, that's when I made my decision. No fights, no shouting, no drama, just action. I met with my lawyer. I filed for divorce quietly. I also ordered paternity tests, not because I needed proof, but because I needed the facts written down, final. Unsurprisingly, it confirmed the obvious. Kayla was not biologically mine, but there was more Leah hadn't expected. I redrafted my will, removed Kayla as beneficiary from my life insurance, the college fund, everything, not out of bitterness, but because I finally realized I had been used for stability, for support, for convenience. Not one moment of remorse from either of them. I had been treated like a disposable, dutiful placeholder, an emotional ATM. When Kayla found out, she came to my apartment in tears, angry. "You're abandoning me," she shouted. "You're punishing me for something I didn't do." I let her vent. Then I looked at her and asked, "When was the last time you thanked me? When you found out Darren was your biological father, did you think about me? The man who raised you, who sacrificed for you, who stayed?" She said nothing. "You made your choice, Kayla," I said quietly. "You chose biology over love. Go ask Darren for help now." She cried, and I cried too, but not for her. I cried for the man I used to be, the one who believed love alone could build a family. Leah tried to patch things later, saying we could still co-parent. That time would heal. But I told her the truth she had spent years burying. "You killed at the moment you stole my choice. I'm done." And I was. For the first time, I was truly free. I picked up photography again. I took time off work. I traveled. I found parts of myself I hadn't seen in years. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. A letter, handwritten, from Kayla. She said she was sorry, that she hadn't meant to hurt me, that Leah had told her during a fight, and made me out to be someone who wouldn't understand. "I was scared you'd hate me if I wasn't yours, so I tried to make you hate me first," she wrote. I wanted to believe her. But truth has a shadow, and it was long. Days later, another letter came, by registered mail, a subpoena. Leah was suing me, not for child support. That part was done. But for spousal support, claiming she had sacrificed her career for our family, that I had been the primary earner. I laughed. Then I cried. Then I called my lawyer. "I won in court," I said. "On record." The trial wasn't long, but it tore at every old wound. My lawyer presented a paternity test, the timeline, the evidence. Leah fell apart under cross-examination. She contradicted herself, then backtracked. She claimed she didn't know Darren was the father for years. But the emails proved otherwise. Birthday messages, subtle references, even one that read, "Kayla's eyes look more like yours every year." The judge didn't just deny her support. He called her deceitful, publicly, openly. I walked out of that courtroom like a soldier stepping off the battlefield, bruised but alive. But the war wasn't quite over. 2 months later, I was sitting in a cafe when a man approached me. Tall, nervous, careful. "Are you Michael?" he asked. "I am," I replied. "I'm Darren." That name rang like a distant alarm bell. I looked at him, waited. She showed up at my office. He said, with Kayla, said I needed to step up, that it was time I be a father. I almost choked on my coffee. He shook his head. I didn't know. She never told me Kayla might be mine. And to be honest, I don't want to be a father to someone I've never known. But I thought you should know. I thanked him and left. Somewhere inside, another piece of me cracked. Not because I still loved Leah or even Kayla, but because she was now trying to rebuild the same lie, just shifting the frame, crafting a new illusion for someone else to carry. Weeks later, Kayla texted me. "He doesn't want anything to do with me." I thought he'd care. I didn't reply right away. When I finally did, it was simple. "Now you understand. I cared when I didn't have to. I showed up when I didn't know the truth. But you threw that away. Biology doesn't make a father. Love does. And you chose DNA over devotion. That was your choice." She hasn't replied since. It's been 8 months now. Leah lost her job after the trial fallout. Darren cut ties after she hinted at a paternity suit. Kayla deferred her college admission and moved in with a friend. Their house of cards finally collapsed. And me? I went to Italy. Learned how to make pasta from scratch. Took long walks along quiet roads. I started writing again. And I met someone. Her name's Elaine. She knows the whole story. She listens without judgment. She has a 5-year-old son. And when he smiles, something in me softens, but not foolishly this time. Carefully, deliberately. I don't know where the future will go, but I know this. I will never let guilt bend me into submission again, because the day Kayla said, "He's not even my real dad," was the day I learned that love freely given can't survive where it's not valued. And now, that love is mine again, protected,